So this is going to be a beginning of sorts. I'm calling it a testimony because you got to start somewhere. Figure I'll tell you a little bit about myself in the process. Very little. There's a lot there. And in the future, I hope to share more of what's there, but we'll get started with this. So, whenever I start something, the question tends to come to my mind: where do we start? Where do I start? Where do we begin? So, I wonder, is that a silly question? Is there such a thing as a silly question? Are some questions better than others? Well, here is a question for you. How does one begin a journey of 1,000 miles? The answer I have come to embrace for this question is that it starts with a single step. So this is a step for me. As for the question, where do we start? I am now of the mind that we have little choice but to start from here. Indeed, where else is there but here? And as for what time do we start, what other time is there but now? And now you might begin to wonder, what is this guy talking about? He is not making any sense. I might agree with you. And so there, silence, the knowing, the searching, everlasting, ever-present silence. And out of this silence comes all things. Into this silence, all things returns. Silence. Well, from my time here thus far, I have asked many questions. I went to school like most of you do or did, and I asked my teachers questions. Many of my questions my teachers could not answer from a very young age. The questions would be skirted, misdirected, or if they were answered, they weren't answered very clearly. The answers did not even seem to begin, much less arrive. And so the carpet of time continued to unfold in front of me as it does for all of us on this journey through life. I continued to go to school, and I acquired some useful tools while I was there. I used to think that the purpose of school was for learning. It is often implied in the question that parents ask children when they come home. What did you learn in school today? This question made it seem that school was for learning. School is a place that you go when you want to learn, right? That is what I used to think. I say used to think because my thoughts on that have been modified lately. School, as it is currently understood, as it is currently defined, as it is currently experienced, sucks. It not only sucks, it sucks big donkey balls. Many students get to the point early on where they say that they hate school or they hate certain aspects of school. They do not want to go. They do not want to learn. And I cannot help but wonder, how did one so young come to a place such as this? What is this curriculum teaching that it engenders such depression and anxiety, such repulsion and disgust? When I come across students who say that they do not want to learn anymore, or that they are dumb or stupid or just plain not interested, I ask them this question: who taught you how to walk? And I wait for a moment as they think. This question is followed by another: who taught you how to talk? I wonder if this is even the right question. You see, questions give directions to the mind. When I ask you who, I am implying that someone did something, someone outside of you. There is a teacher and there is a student, but did you know that the student can be his own teacher? It might help to think of this if we approach it in a little bit of a different way. Why did you learn how to walk? Why did you learn how to talk? The answers to these questions seem more forthcoming. When we ask why, we look for a reason, and the reason in this case is because I wanted to. Babies do not reason. Babies do not seem to think in the normal sense of how we understand thinking. Babies are feeble, weak, lacking, new, vulnerable, dependent, and they are sponges soaking up their environment. In what language do we teach babies? In babies, we find the union of the teacher and the student. In babies, we find the beginning of the human spirit that is present from the start, even before the start. To will something is to call it forth. To will is to create. You see, I can say that babies will walk, babies will talk, and you will all agree. There might be some time needed for these things to unfold, for these things to happen, but you have done it in your life, and you have witnessed its occurrence time and time again. Babies will, they do not wish. At the union of the teacher and the student, we find the will. When the student and the teacher become one, we find the will.